The question of whether the party should be a member of the opposition was raised by Mr. Wembanyama, who had no concerns about the party's membership. In the latest edition of the recently published list of MVPs, Wembanyama is the top-ranked player in the medical world, coming from the Superarian Mountains. For a long time, Wembanyama was not the MVP of the season. But recently, he has publicly drawn the ticket for himself, and after the fall of Thunder's rule, the foreign ministry has not increased the recognition of Wembanyama as MVP. He is a man of many talents, and 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 he is a man of many talents. The final match of the tournament was won by the 4-man team, and the victory in the final was won by the 2-man team. The 4-killer lightning strike may also be a popular attraction. The first time that the team has won the tournament, it's the first time that the team has won the tournament. On March 27, NV officially released the latest MVP list, the third MVP list of the season. The value of references is very high. In this list, the best thing about Brown is that he's out of the top 5, and the two best things are that he's out of the top 5. The battle between the two is no doubt a battle between the Wembanyama and the Ari Mountains, though it is notable. The first time that the Wembanyama season started, the ban was unveiled and sparked controversy. The government of Myanmar, however, has been criticized for its unilateral power to ban the country from the Taliban. The first time the team was defeated by the Red Devils, the last time they were defeated by the Red Devils, and the last time they were defeated by the Red Devils. The other side believes Thunder is still an enemy of the Allies, and the personal data of areas is really great. MVP should be transferred to a team of players who are older than their age. The two arguments are not wrong, they are just different in their weight. The first is that the people who are in the process of getting their money back from the government are not allowed to see the details of the situation. The first time I saw the video, I was surprised to see the video, but one of the mistakes was the MVP of the season. The species is found only in the mountains of Benzema and Ari. The current stone has been moved to the Banyan Islands, and the current stone has been moved to the Banyan Islands. The Sambia Mountains are the most important advantage of the region. First, the level of achievement. In the history of the NBA, the vast majority of MVPs have been transferred to the best local players in the history of the NBA. The best teams in the country are not necessarily the worst. The team is ranked 4th in the division and is competing with the competition. The results are almost the same, and this is exactly what the Bananas are doing. The first 2 rounds of the tournament were held in the same city, with the final being held in the same city. The results are completely within the reasonable range of competing MVPs. The bill also mentions the term of the bill and the deadline for its implementation. The first time they were in the top 6, they were in the top 6, and they were the last to win the MVP. But this is based on the premise that they have produced enough shocking personal data. The data of 30 soldiers who had been deployed to the front lines at home and at the top of the 3 UN is a strategy. The first 5 shareholders of the company are reportedly in the top 5. The 2 were therefore among the most exclusive MPs in the country. The team has been a huge success in the past few seasons, and the team has been a huge success in the past. But the pressure is not bad at this point. The first is that the leader is small and the leader is small. The real reason for the advantage is the record of the Mass and the backup handlers. The two teams have faced each other 5 times this season, with Mass taking an absolute lead 4-1. The first half of the season, especially, saw the Thunder stop to score 24 victories in a row. The goal was to win 3 games in 7 days after his death. Mars is the only team to have hit multiple mine stops in a short period of time. The influence of the Penguin in the defensive side changed the way the attack stopped. The attack was a huge blow to the country, and it was a huge blow to the country. The victory of Mars is the first time the league has really seen it. How to defeat the peak mining stop. The MVP was chosen by the Chinese candidates who had a direct conversation with each other. The 4-1 cover-up is a huge plus for Myanmar. In other words, when we discuss the best teams of the season, we are talking about the best teams of the season. The first is that the Lightning does not have to stop in front of Mars. The results of the competition were compared to the results of the competition. The first is that the government has not yet taken any steps to resolve the issue. The second is to look at personal data. The first is that the country is a very small country, and that is why it is a very small country. He is also a key reason why he leads so many gas MVPs. He has been in the starting lineup for the last 3 seasons, averaging 31.5 points, 4.4 rebounds and 6.6 assists per game. The military government only ate 7 points, League 1. The basic data is enough to feed the poor. The report also highlights the importance of the new rules for the country. So the rear-end real shot over 66% only opened for the preliminary round. The EPM of 9.2 is the first absolute high-level data. Since the deadline, the Federation has increasingly sought to rely on high-level data to determine MVPs. The past, when the only thing that was done was to look at the results and the basic data, was not a bad thing. But this means that Myanmar must be in the top list in the top data. The EPM value of the BNB is not as high as the Aras Mountain, but it is worth the EPM value of the BNB. The gap between the two countries is not large, and it is only 8.6%. The report also shows that the number of people who are suffering from depression is increasing, and that the number of people who are suffering from depression is decreasing. The country's economy is growing at a steep pace, with the country's economy growing at a steep pace. The two sides have a slightly different advantage compared to the higher-level data. At least this won't be the cutting edge of Burma. The first is that the competition is not a big deal, but a big deal is that it is a big deal. Many fans will probably think that Ben Wembanyama won the match. The reason is simple. Although the Arizona Cardinals have played countless times this season, the lawyer has been a resounding player, especially at crucial moments. The video was shot in the middle of the night, but the video was shot in the middle of the night, and the video was shot in the middle of the night. The story of O'Neill's life is a story that could only be told in the years before. The first time I saw the video was in the video, and I was surprised to see the video. He is a reasonable grassroots, and he can always catch your attention instantly. The video shows the man on the other side of the fence covering the entire 3-second scene. He is a real earthling, and you will be protecting him in your heart. The first time I saw the competition, I was surprised to learn that the competition was not going to change. Al-Aqsa is the main target of the thunderstorm. He was able to pull the line and carry the team on a fence. The ability of the space ball in the head is also remarkable. If we talk only about the offensive, he is more influential than Ben Wembanyama. Of course, the Myanmar government is not bad either. So the storm, he can't be like Arishan. The first is the battle of the sexes. He also said that the attackers were not allowed to take part in the attack. The first is that the military has been able to use the force of the enemy to attack the country. The newly developed ballless cutting system is also available in the US. This is the way he influenced the game on a fence. The results of the survey were not as good as the one in Al-Assad. The result of the match was 24.2, but the score is also the same for you. The first is that the military has been able to take control of the country and the country is not able to control the situation. The Thunder are the best defensive team in the league. But it's not just because of the presence of the Arisan people. In fact, Dalton, Kalusa and Carson are all in the same place. The most robust external defenses against Thunder have been built. The internet is also a big mess. The Al-Aqsa Mosque is also online, but not the core leaders. The government has also been criticized for its lack of support for the government. The first is that the enemy's tongue-in-cheek offensive area should be given priority over external forces. This is equivalent to forcing the opponent's tongue to open the box. This is the most efficient way to improve. The military has already sent out 3.1 SEALs so far. The government has been trying to shut down the government and the media. The first time I saw him, I was surprised that he was not a good player. This data can be improved. The first is the tree and the second is the tree. The first is the band of the band. Al-Assad, one of the strongest offensive linemen in the league. The first is that the country is not a country. This is the biggest showcase of his influence in the competition. The last thing that happened was the debate. NBA is a business union. The first time I saw the video was in the video and I was surprised to see it. The reason for this is known. The government has also been trying to get rid of the illegal immigration laws in the country, including Thunderball. The foreigners are fighting their war. The question is always left open. This is a very bad thing for Al-Assad. If he can't play, the first is to make sure that everyone is speaking without words. The first is the battle of the sexes. You're pressuring other candidates. He competes in the NBA. The problem is that the government is not going to be able to keep up with the demand. The newly formed coalition is already popular. The following is a list of the most common types of magic. If we are to build the bad weather for people buying food, the allies will naturally aim at the nearby Alpine mountains. What is the meaning of this? The first season of Al-Aqsa, the NBA has won once. According to custom, he was later re-elected. The country is not like Myanmar. This is a new candidate. More powerful. The last one is a cover-up. The first is the better planet. Wembanyama is only 22 years old. The media has always been more inclusive of young people. He is a child of the same name. The country is a very different country than Algeria. After LeBron's death, The most watched Superstay. The country's first official language is Myanmar. The number of people who have been. The new government will be the next ruler of the alliance. This is the world's IP. The first is the Aryan Mountain. He plays very clean. The world is a great place to start. The first is to make sure that the child is not overwhelmed by the movement of the hands. What does it mean to buy food? He was never used on anyone. The world is looking to build this super new. The country's population is growing rapidly to the level of the presidential mountain. The interest is actually overcrowded. A group of MVPs. This is the first step. The first is the multidimensional difference. The Vietnamese against the Super Aries. The MVP's help was not an accident. The first is that the government is not going to be able to do anything. The season is not over yet. The last stage of closure. The first time the award was given to a woman, it was the first time that the award was given to a woman. The race after Retton is very difficult. In the development competition, the first time they saw a new model, they were able to see a new model, and they were able to see a new model. Gold, Sun, 6 teams with a winning percentage of over 50%. The first is that the government is not going to be able to handle the situation. Lost in some matches. The chances of Myanmar becoming a democracy will increase. Mars has 9 games left. The number of people who have been killed in the violence is about to double. The only team that can do this is to beat 5 teams with less than 5% victory or to beat a team that is not good enough. The game is basically a free-for-all. The current stress is a huge one. Maybe some fans won MVP over Ben Aram. The first is that the country is not a country. If he finally gets away with it, he will go beyond Ross. He became the youngest MVP in NB history. He is now a member of the Democratic Party, and he is almost certain that he will get the DPU. The newly formed DPU is the youngest outside of the history of the country. The first time I saw a woman in the street was in the middle of a nightmare. What is his problem? The first time I saw the video was in the video. He will be more than a browsing page. The winners of all the awards are. And if our memories are not sound, the first time I saw the video was in the video. NB Arama receives FMVP. He is also a great achiever in the world of music. This is the night after the Eurasian Pig. History will cover more than the DPU. MVP to win the championship, FMVP. The first 2 games were held in the same city. Of course, these are just expectations for Ben Wembanyama. For him, the MVP is still fighting the war to win. The goal is to reduce the number of people who are suffering. This is his 3rd season in the league. I'm not wrong. The video shows the video of the video game, which was filmed in the Philippines. I'm still in the new and in charge. The last time I saw him was in the middle of the night. The first is the battle of the sexes. The first is that the government is not going to be able to keep up with the demands of the people. Will he win the MVP of this season? I'm not sure.